Vic Beasley destinations coming your way here on Chat Sports. I am Harrison Graham. Tom Downey with me as well. Going to break down some teams that could sign, potentially claim Vic Beasley as he has been officially released by the Tennessee Titans.
Beasley cut by Tennessee, you're right, on Wednesday. That this had kind of been a known thing. Tuesday it got released. The purpose here, what Tennessee was attempting to do, or I should say is attempting to do, is get someone to claim him.
Yep.
Beasley signed a one-year, $9 million deal in NFL free agency. He showed up late to training camp, struggled this year, and now what Tennessee is hoping that, okay, if someone claims him off waivers, because after the NFL trade deadline, even veterans like Beasley, well, they are eligible to be, they actually have to go through waivers. So
Yep.
they have to clear, and then they become a true unrestricted free agent. If someone claims Vic Beasley, they owe him the balance left on his base salary, which is around $3.5 million. I'm not sure, Harrison, if a team is actually going to claim him at that cost.
Yeah, you know, he didn't seem right this year. Maybe he came into the season out of shape. Not much of a preseason, obviously. No preseason, just a little bit of training camp there. Hasn't looked like the same guy. Had 8 sacks last year, but those stats were even skewed a little bit with Atlanta. And like you said, you went into the nerd lab there. The pressure rate has been lower than expected.
I believe in nerds. Pressure rate isn't always the best indicator of current sack production, but it is a fantastic indicator of future production and what it should be when it comes to sacks, because in theory, if you're getting consistent pressure rate, you equate a similar amount of sacks. And
Okay.
Vic Beasley, for the most part in his career, has been around 9%, like he was last year, like he has been this year. The difference is, despite having 9% pressure rate, 8 sacks last season, 0 this year,
Yep.
The reality is his 2019, 2016 numbers, they're kind of flash in the pans. He hasn't been that elite pass rusher, but I still think if you sign him, you might be able to get, roundabouts, maybe it's 3 sacks over the rest of the year. And for the back half of the season, it's probably not worth $3.5 million, but that might be worth signing him to a vet minimum deal.
So who should sign Vic Beasley? Go ahead and let us know down in the comments section. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. Which NFL team should sign Vic Beasley? So Beasley has been released. Now it's time to go through some potential destinations, Tom. You kind of went into the lab. You were like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams. Here are some teams that could make sense for the veteran pass rusher.
We're going to begin with the Seattle Seahawks here. The Seahawks, let's talk about them and Vic Beasley. I like the idea of Vic Beasley heading to the Seattle Seahawks here. Now look, Seattle already traded for Carlos Dunlap, so that helps them out with one particular pass rusher. Now, they also looked at other guys at the deadline. They called about Aldon Smith, they called about Jacob Martin of the Cowboys and Texans respectively. And Beasley does fit well in that Seahawks scheme. They tend to use one of their linebackers. It was Bruce Irvin. Now they've kind of rotated guys as almost a fifth front guy, as that strong side, that 4-3 Leo type of player, almost an extra defensive end outside linebacker hybrid. And that's what Beasley did a lot of in Atlanta. He filled that same role in what was a former Seahawks DC Dan Quinn scheme. And although Vic Beasley's only putting about a 9% pressure rate, guess what? That's better than what Seattle has.
I mean, you've talked about it a lot. You do a lot of our coverage on Seattle Seahawks Today. Subscribe over there if you haven't already, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. What have they needed? Pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. We were talking about it for weeks. Jamal Adams is the best pass rusher there, and he's a safety. Look, Vic Beasley's no beast, but could he be a rotation pass rusher?
Look, Jonathan Bullard is producing as really almost a hybrid defensive tackle, defensive end. Benson Mayo was a nice piece. I think you see Carlos Dunlap's numbers go up and a better scheme fit for him.
Yep.
But even though Vic Beasley isn't great, I think he becomes one of your better pass rushers.
Yep.
Like, at that point, I'm all for it. I think it makes some sense for Seattle in particular.
And maybe the approach of going volume, if you don't have that true dominant guy, you keep guys fresh, 20, 25 snaps a game. Maybe that gets you more pressures as a team overall, and I think that could make sense for Seattle. So do you want to sign Vic Beasley? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Go ahead and cast your votes in the comments section. Now, we got a lot of face coverings available on sale, including these Seahawks ones at chatsports.com/stay safe. Tons of different styles available for the Seahawks and all 32 NFL teams. Tom, all you got to do is go to that link, chatsports.com/stay safe. You may want to get these warm ones where it covers your neck.
I like the neck ones. It keeps me warmer.
Winter's coming, man.
It.
It's here. Chatsports.com.
We don't make Game of Thrones
/stay safe
anymore because the show was a disaster.
Yeah, final season didn't work out so well. Hopefully the ending's better for Seattle this year. Chatsports.com/stay safe. Tons of different varieties available for you guys. Solo packs all the way up to 4-packs, including these cool graffiti ones for all 32 teams. It's chatsports.com/stay safe. The next team up is the Detroit Lions, who, they're trying to win because if they don't, their head coach and GM are fired.
Yeah, so that means they should probably try and invest in some more players. And the Lions, the pass rush, despite trying a whole bunch of different players at it, hasn't really worked out very well. And they've actually done some fun stuff this year in terms of utilizing that Matt Patricia scheme. First off, Trey Flowers is on IR, so that is a significant loss. Then he should be back at some point. Deshaun Hand tends to play this kind of defensive end, defensive tackle role, and they've turned Reggie Ragland into their strong side linebacker, and he blitzes quite a bit. That's what that Lions team does. And Jamie Collins has not been a great pickup for them. I actually think it might make some sense to let Vic Beasley play that particular role.
Okay.
You bring him in on a vet minimum deal. I don't think you claim him, or even if you want to, you can. The Lions have the cap if they really choose to. And you're trying to win games right now because if you don't, you're both getting fired, the GM and head coach. So it might be a worthwhile, aggressive play here.
The Lions are trying to win games. We try to win every single day when we post a video. Just crossed 206,000 subscribers. Thanks to you guys. Couldn't be possible without you guys. Spread the word. Let's continue to grow this thing. Let's continue to grow here on Chat Sports because we have daily NFL videos for 100% free. Subscribe, turn on notifications so you never ever miss a video. We do all kinds of different stuff. The latest news, rumors, player destinations when they get cut or when they're on the trade block before the deadline or something like that. And yes, we have the best NFL draft coverage on YouTube, led by this man over here. Subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Next up, the Kansas City Chiefs. I run our Chiefs channel, Tom, and I was interested when you put them on your list.
Yeah, I'm going to make my pitch, and then let me know what you think here.
All right.
AKC's got no problems taking gambles on players, and I know that Passanio and Taco Charlton have been better than they might have expected them to be.
Yep.
But isn't Vic Beasley better than those two guys, or at least worth exploring? I mean,
I think he's better than Taco. Passanio is actually a really good run stopper.
Okay, so rotate them then.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why Taco's actually been fairly successful because they're like, hey, go play 15 snaps a game and rush the quarterback. He's had a few sacks, so it's kind of worked out. Beasley could play a slightly higher role, I think, on this defense. Obviously, Jones and Clark are your two workhorses there. And then it's kind of a rotation after that. They found Tershawn Wharton at the other DT spot at UDFA in the draft because that's just that's what the Chiefs do.
You're making guys up, but that's okay.
Hey, Missouri S&T, he's legit. Go look him up. Passanio, Taco, those are the guys you're talking about. If you bring him on board, probably dipping into some of those sacks. Hey, we know Brett Veach. He's always looking to improve this roster.
And he can be creative with the way he brings players because Beasley can line up off-ball linebacker if you need him to.
And the linebacker position has not been great. So versatility could factor in if they want to go sign Vic Beasley. Next up, we got the Arizona Cardinals, a team that I thought maybe they'd make a move at the trade deadline for someone, but they did not.
They kind of did. They did it a week before with Marcus Golden. They traded for him for the New York Giants, but I still think when you look at what Arizona has from a pass rushing perspective, maybe you explore some more options. Now, you have Hassan Reddick, who is finally back at his natural position.
He's played a lot better.
And having success as that outside linebacker in their more 3-4 focused scheme. I mentioned Marcus Golden. Dennis Gardeck had a great game against the Cowboys because that offensive line forgot to block him twice. Kylie Fitz is out there. Devin Kennard is also on the roster. I like him as a number 3 edge, but he's on the COVID list right now.
Obviously, you lost Chandler Jones.
You've dealt with some injuries. Zach Allen, who is a little bit more of an undersized 3-4 defensive end, but I think he fits pretty well. You're looking for another edge guy. Arizona's in position where, look, if you want to come in on the vet minimum for 1 year, heck, why not? We're trying to make some cheap moves and legitimately compete for a playoff spot. I am highly intrigued by this potential fit, Harrison.
Yeah, and I think that would be very interesting if you're trying to continue to replace Jones's production. Golden can't do it on his own. Maybe Beasley and Golden combined can give you similar production there. Who is your top sleeper playoff contender in 2020? Arizona has certainly been a team that has been better than expected by a lot of folks. Let us know. Who is your top sleeper team? Real quick, Tom, give me a couple of teams.
I like Arizona, and I also like the team coming up next here, by the way.
That, of course, is the Las Vegas Raiders. You've got the Raiders on your Vic Beasley destinations list as well.
Yeah, look, the Raiders continue to have problems getting sacks, and Max Crosby is a very good football player. Clelin Ferrell's been better, hasn't been the guy I think they thought they were getting when they made him a top 5 pick. Perhaps yet another new face will help fix that. Look, here's my argument for a lot of these, I think, legitimate playoff contenders, or at least hopeful playoff contenders who have had issues with the pass rush.
Yep.
Who's better, Vic Beasley, as bad as he's been this year, or Arden Key / Carl Nassib?
I'm going Vic Beasley.
I mean, right?
I mean, give Max Crosby credit. We kind of thought maybe that was a rookie flash in the pan. He's had another good year here.
Good.
Clelin Ferrell's played a little bit better this year, but you could argue that Beasley's better than him as well. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think Vegas is a team that should look to be opportunistic on the free agent market. Some of those top guys remaining. I don't think they'll go after an Earl Thomas, but a guy like Vic Beasley for cheap could make some sense.
I think it absolutely does make some sense. I'm really curious to see what ends up happening here with Vic Beasley. I don't, maybe I'll be proven wrong in like 24 hours, but I don't think he gets claimed, but I think there will be some semblance of interest around him.
Yeah, it's hard to know what how teams view him without this year's gone. So it'll definitely be very, very interesting to see what happens with Vic Beasley.